It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Wednesday, the 6th of March. I'm Michael Groff. Another beautiful Chamber of Commerce kind of day out there with temperatures up in the mid-70s, some high clouds around through the day today. But a system coming in here tomorrow brings a chance at showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. Of course, how much rain will there be? Who's going to get wet? Well, we'll find out all of that and everything else as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday, 77 degrees the afternoon high, 53 the morning low. 75 and 52 are the averages for this time of year, so pretty close to where we ought to be. And as we take a look outside right now here at just before 6:30 a.m., there are some clouds out there this morning, and we've got 57 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point sitting at 35, humidity at 44%, the wind's light, the barometer is rising. Temperatures across the country, not too bad for early March. Yeah, it's kind of chilly across parts of North Dakota, Minnesota. We've got some teens, we've got some 20s, even a couple of single digits on the board there. But if we look across the southeast, the Gulf Coast, we got 60s and 70s. And otherwise, I'd say temperatures for the most part around the nation are relatively close to seasonal averages, if not even a little bit above normal in some spots. And here's why. The upper level weather pattern across the nation features a trough over Saskatchewan. We got an upper low there. And of course, there's an associated front kind of draped up there, and that's bringing down some cooler air and some precipitation across the Intermountain West north of Arizona. We've got another area of low pressure off of the California coast. That will be the system that comes in here tomorrow and brings us our chance at some precipitation. In the meantime, you see the west-southwesterly flow in place here. There is some mid and high-level moisture around, and that's why we'll see some clouds today. The watch warning map is relatively quiet across the nation. We've got some dense fog advisories for parts of the Gulf Coast from around Houston to Lake Charles to New Orleans, Monroe, Louisiana. And we've got a little bit of fog up north. And also, check it out, red flag warnings for parts of South Dakota and Minnesota. Some dangerously dry conditions, some extreme wildfire danger there because they're coming out of the warmest winter on record in many spots across the northern plain states. It's been warm. It's been very dry. We've got some windy conditions up there. So, of course, the stage is set. Despite the fact that temperatures are relatively cool, especially by our standards, still the potential of wildfires exists there. North of us, some dense fog for parts of the Treasure Valley of Idaho this morning, and a few snowflakes flying across the northwestern states. Convective outlook for today, we've got the marginal risk of severe storms, level 1 out of 5 around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, as well as portions of South Carolina and the Florida Peninsula from around Miami over toward Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, Melbourne. And here's a look at precipitation. This is valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix generally light, under 1/10 of an inch, although one or two spots may see more than that. The heavier rainfall should be confined to the north of us across the rim country, the higher terrain, as you would expect. But whenever we show this graphic and we're talking about the potential of thunderstorms, I should note your amount will vary. It is possible that some spot around Phoenix could get a little bit more than what is shown here. We'll talk about what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, we check the models. Here we go. This is the GFS. It is the 06Z run, and this is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Double barrel low pressure action across the west. We've got one moving into the northern plain states. Another one is right there on the California coast. And a west-southwesterly flow bringing in some mid and high-level moisture around here today. So what it means for us down at the surface for most of the day today, we'll see a lot of clouds this morning, some decrease in clouds for this afternoon. I'd say the day is at least partly sunny, and high temperatures this afternoon should top out in the mid-70s, very similar to what we saw yesterday. Just gorgeous out there. Tonight, a few clouds in the evening, then clouds roll in after midnight. We'll even introduce a slight chance of rain after midnight as this trough kind of moves on in here. And lows tonight should generally be in the, I'd say, mid-40s to mid-50s. And then for the day tomorrow, here comes this trough, and it is a little bit more impressive than what we were looking at earlier. Interestingly enough, we had talked about this system last week, and the GFS was this clear outlier showing this being a precipitation maker, whereas most of our model guidance was saying this was going to be nothing for us. Well, it turns out the outlier solution was the correct one. The GFS has kind of handled this very consistently the entire time, and it continues to show some rain around here for tomorrow, especially in the morning. But as we get into the midday hours, there could be some chance of at least isolated thunderstorms, and obviously any thunderstorm that develops would be capable of producing some locally heavy downpours, and maybe even the strongest storms, some gusty winds and some small hail. We're not expecting severe weather, but again, a gust to 35 miles per hour and a little bit of small hail with the strongest storms can't be ruled out. Let's check out some of our high-resolution models. Well, this is the 3-kilometer NAM at noon tomorrow, looking at the surface-based CAPE, and this is a reflection of atmospheric instability, the ability for air parcels to freely rise. And look, most of the energy and dynamic support and most of the energy just to the north of us, but CAPE value is still around 250, 350 joules per kilogram here across south central Arizona, including Phoenix. And that is enough for at least isolated thunderstorms to develop. So we do have at least some instability in place. Looking at the simulated radar composite reflectivity product again tomorrow at noon off the NAM. And yeah, it shows a few showers and thunderstorms around. Again, this isn't going to be an overly widespread, overly heavy kind of situation, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible. So some of you could see some rain, but it's not a guarantee by any means. Probably about a 40% chance we could see some storms tomorrow. And again, high temperatures will be cooler with breezy conditions. I expect generally mid to upper 60s for the day on Thursday. Now, that system is progressive. It's going to get out of here by Friday. We'll see clearing skies. Now, in terms of how much rain we'll get, this is the Short Range Ensemble Forecast, or SREF, detailing the precipitation potential here in Phoenix, and the mean is about 0.15 of an inch. And that seems reasonable. Again, your amount will vary, but I think that's a decent kind of sampling here off the SREF. Nothing really, we don't see any real huge spread here, so that's good. And then let me go to the day on Friday. And again, yeah, the system moves off to the east. There could still be a few showers across eastern Arizona, but we should be drying out. Partly sunny in the morning, mostly sunny by the afternoon. High temperatures, upper 60s to low 70s. And then we really start to warm up as we head into the weekend. Highs, mid-70s, maybe upper 70s on Saturday with sunny sky, and then we're warmer on Sunday. Highs, upper 70s, low 80s. So go to Monday, we've got some rain and snow well to the north of Arizona and off to our west as well, but high pressure is still in control here. High temperatures still probably in the low to mid-80s. And then as we go to Tuesday, again, some rain and snow from the Sierra on northward through the Great Basin in the Pacific Northwest and coastal California, Washington, Oregon. Yeah, you're going to see some rain. And for us, no rain. Maybe a few clouds and high temperatures, upper 70s, low 80s. Here's a week from today. This is Wednesday, the 13th. Okay, kind of an interesting scenario developing. A ridge is beginning to pick up right along the west coast, a little shortwave ridge. We've got troughing to the north of that. We've got a little shortwave or a little trough here over the Rockies that's heading toward the Plain States. What's very interesting is the GFS, and actually a number of the models in the ensemble guidance show a fairly rapid amplification of the flow pattern across North America. And we see this advertised on models, and rarely does it pan out exactly as advertised. But let me show you that this is going out 10 days to Friday, the 15th. Beware the Ides of March. The GFS takes that little short wave, closes it off into an upper low, and has a rapidly intensifying ridge north of Arizona, forming sort of a Rex block pattern here, and showing this low cutting off to the south of Arizona. Now, have we ever seen that pattern before? Of course we have. That pattern does happen, especially in the spring and fall. We see that. Springtime weather patterns like this, it's not uncommon. It's just the GFS advertises these kinds of things out here in the 7 to 10 day range a lot, and they only kind of come to fruition like this sometimes. But if this were to happen, it wouldn't have serious implications on our weather, although it would be breezy to windy at times, but mainly dry. However, what I find interesting is we look at the European at the same time. This is again Friday the 15th. It's got the same upper low, except it's much closer to us. It's diving in more straight from the north and closing off over the southwest. And again, if that's right, there could be some light precipitation. This wouldn't have a lot of moisture with it, but certainly it would be cooler and breezy. High temperatures would be well below average, whereas in this scenario from the GFS, temperatures would probably be closer to, if not above average, with low pressure to the south of us, high pressure to the north. We'd get more of an easterly, northeasterly flow. We'd get probably a surface low down there and a surface high as well to the north, and so we'd get more of a downsloping wind, which may actually help to warm us up more. So a couple of very different scenarios, even though they look similar. The placement of that low and the placement of these features would be very important. But again, look, we're talking about 10 days out. We are trudging into fantasy land here, so we'll see how it plays out. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through the 20th of March, and this is off the GFS ensemble, the mean about 1/4 of an inch. European ensemble, pretty similar. No significant precipitation events. Again, this one coming up here tomorrow is about it. Maybe another opportunity out there next week. A few of the members show that closed low across Arizona may produce something, but that's about it. And then temperatures off the national blend of models. Oh, for sure, we will see cooler temperatures tomorrow, highs in the 60s, but then we warm it up, and by this weekend and certainly into next week, highs up in the 80s, lows in the 50s. You got to wonder if we're going to see any more high temperatures in the 60s for the rest of the spring. We may not see that till the fall, sometime maybe late October or November. Who knows? And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, and of course you do, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really like what we do here, you want to support us monetarily, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. $2, $5, $5 million. It all helps in the furtherance of this channel, and we could sure use that support. So if you're so able to do so, especially that 5 million part, absolutely go ahead and do it. But hey, $2, anything is great. And I have to tell you, I sincerely appreciate each and every donation, regardless of the amount. So thank you guys so much. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO. That means one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, the cat whisperer herself. So check her out and check out her videos down below here in the description. And of course, I invite you to check out my streaming station, our streaming station, the world's streaming station. It's called KMGX, whereupon we play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun, myself and Michelle help in creating that station, one of our labors of love. So I encourage you to check that out too. Again, linked up in the description. The plugs at the end of the video are longer than the video itself these days. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. This thing is like a podcast now. I really do appreciate it, though. You guys be safe out there. Have yourselves a gorgeous, a serene, a delightful rest of your Wednesday.